Ooh, 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 ooh. Post fade. And yeah, that was basically a reenactment of AD kicking one of my players in the PP. That is bad, and he should have been ejected for that. This is not okay. Why does AD get to stay in, but my guy doesn't do anything and he gets ejected last game? This is stupid, and I think that the NBA is rigged because they let their good players stay in the game while the bad players or decent players stay out of the game. So that I think the Suns will still win the series, but AD was very rude there, and he tripped one of my players too, so he should be ejected. So yeah, that's my thing. Welcome to Frontline Football, and roll the intro. Welcome, guys. Frontline Football. We're doing way too early predictions, and we're using playoff predictor. Yay! All right,
Woo!
I'm gonna hand off my first game to Jack because it's the Bills Steelers.
All right, we open up with a fun one in Pittsburgh versus Buffalo. This one's pretty straightforward for me. I think the Bills are going to win pretty easily. I'm not very high on Pittsburgh this season, to be honest. I think that the Bills, they really didn't change that much, and they've beaten Pittsburgh now 2 years in a row, and all they did is get better. So I'm going to take the Bills here. Pretty simple. I think Josh Allen is just going to outplay Big Ben and the Steelers' offense overall. So simple take here. Nothing too in depth. I'm going with the Bills here. What are your thoughts, Josh?
I also think that the Buffalo Bills are in here because while they've been getting better, the Steelers have just been getting worse. So I just believe that the Bills will take this game, and it will not even be a fight for this game, especially with Josh Allen with his new visor. So Bills are winning by a lot here. Zach, what's your take?
I got Bills. Bills have a better team, and Josh Allen's going to be an MVP. He's probably going to win MVP next year. And I think the Bills have a very solid chance of making the Super Bowl this year. So I think Bills. All right. With our next matchup, we got the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Cleveland Browns. Josh. Oh, and our frontline football.
Okay, so I
Okay.
got the. Okay. Well, with this matchup, I have the Cleveland Browns beating the Kansas City Chiefs and taking some that first game that they played because I feel like even the Browns were so close to win, and now they've just gotten even better. Of course, the Chiefs have gotten better too, but I just think that the Browns will get that Week 1 upset because that's what they're known for. They beat the Titans in Week 1, or people were high on the Titans, and I think now they're going to beat the Chiefs Week 1. So give me the Cleveland Browns here. Zach, what are your thoughts?
I'm going to say Kansas City Chiefs. They're at home. It's their first game. Tyreek Hill is very fast. And I know that they lost Sammy Watkins, but McCole Hardman, can Greg Newsome hold up to McCole Hardman? I don't think so. And it's going to be a really good match like last time, but I think the Kansas City Chiefs have this one. Jack?
I gotta agree with Zach here and go with Kansas City. Just on the basis of, don't get me wrong, the Browns have a real shot at winning this game, but Mahomes and the Chiefs, as of late, are unstoppable in September. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the start of the season, but for whatever reason, they always come out swinging. I can't remember the last time the Chiefs lost a game in September. It had to have at least been 2 years. So I have to go with the Chiefs here just based on principle of their September dominance to open up the year. That means the frontline football pick is going to be the Chiefs.
All right. With our next game, it's going to be Miami versus New England. I'm going to hand this one off to Jack.
Ooh, this one's tough. I like this matchup to open it up. I like a lot of the pieces on both sides. I think both of these teams got significantly better in the offseason, and I do think this is going to be a series that they split. For now, I think I'm going to go with Miami to open up and get the win just on the basis of there's a lot of new faces in New England. It's going to take time to adjust to the ways of doing things. It's going to be a home opener for them. A lot too many new moving pieces as of right now. I think Miami's a little more established right now, and I think that's going to give them the edge over New England in the early season. But I think New England will get them in the late season. What are your thoughts, Zach?
Okay, I got New England because New England always does really well like the first week, and I think that because remember Cam Newton played very well for 2 weeks and then he went back to his old self. But I think New England got this. And yeah, I like New England and how their team is right now. Josh.
Okay, so with this matchup, I think that it will be the Miami Dolphins winning here, just because usually with this, the better team takes the first game, but that last game, the worst team takes it. So I believe that the Dolphins will win here, and it'll be close, but the Dolphins will be winning. So give me the Miami Dolphins here, taking it on the road.
All right, now we got Houston versus Jacksonville. I'm gonna hand this one off to Josh.
Okay, so you got a lot of new faces on the Texans. You got a lot of new faces on the Jaguars. So week 1, facing off against each other, I believe the Houston Texans are taking week 1, and I know this from being a Texans fan. The Texans have the Jaguars number on at home, especially. Even in our worst seasons, we have their number on the at home. So I believe since we'll be winning, I believe that Tyrod will be starting off 1-0 as a starter for the Houston Texans. And I think that Lawrence is going to have to experience his first ever loss in the regular season in week 1. So, Jack, where are your...
Ooh, this one's tough. A lot of new faces, a lot of moving places on this team. I'm going to give the edge to the Jags for week 1 at least. It just depends on Watson's situation. If Watson's back, then I'll give it back to Houston, but I like the Jags here. I think Trevor Lawrence is going to start out with a bang. I think they're going to be ready to go week 1. What are your thoughts, Zach?
All right, since the Texans have like a whole team that they've signed in free agency, I'm gonna have to give it to the Jags. I know there's something called preseason, but can you really come on? My Wi-Fi keeps going out for the freaking Suns game. Okay, but yeah, I think the Jags have this, and I think Trevor will get his first win as on the pro level. And if they have Watson, then this is totally different, but they don't because Watson wants out still. All right, with our next game, it's going to be the Baltimore Ravens versus the Las Vegas Raiders. Okay, this is really interesting, but I'm going to have to give it to Baltimore. Baltimore has a really good offense. I was about to say pass rush. And they're getting new pieces like Sammy Watkins and what's his name, Rashad Bateman. I think that they're going to be a good team, and I think that they're going to begin with a win. Josh?
Okay, I think that the Las Vegas Raiders will win because they always get this weird win in the season, and I feel like this get that weird win that they aren't supposed to get, but they do get. So I think that this will help Vegas, think of them as contenders for that year. And I think that the first Monday Night Football matchup, the Raiders will beat the Ravens at Allegiant Stadium. Jack, what are your thoughts?
Ooh, this one's tough, but I think I got to give the edge to the Ravens here. I don't think the Raiders' back secondary is keeping up with the Ravens' new offensive toys, and I think this is going to be a coming out party for Rashad Bateman, Sammy Watkins, and Hollywood Brown specifically. So I'm going to give the edge to the Ravens. I don't like the matchup between the Raiders secondary versus the Ravens receivers and tight end Mark Andrews, of course. So I'll give this one to the Ravens.
All right, with our next matchup, we got the Cincinnati Bengals versus the Minnesota Vikings. I'm going to hand this one off to Jack.
Ooh, Cincinnati versus Minnesota. I'm going to give this one to the Vikings here. I like what the Vikings did. They had one of my favorite off seasons of them all. I think they have a strong pass rush, and I think they're going to get a lot of new players back. And overall, I'm not as high as Cincinnati, especially their defense. I think the Vikings are going to come out here and get the Week 1 win. What are your thoughts, Josh?
I think that the Bengals are going to be starting 1-0 here and going to beat the Vikings Week 1. Because, yes, they did add a lot of pieces, but I believe it will take a little bit of time for those pieces. Now, I do believe that Jefferson and Cleveland will have good games, but I think that the Bengals will just be a bit more because Joe Burrow is going to be back with a vengeance here. So I think that the Bengals will be winning this game. So, Zach, what are your thoughts?
I think also Bengals. I like the Bengals and I like the offense. I think the offense has so much power that I don't think the defense of the Vikings can stop how much Joe Burrow has. He has Jamar Chase, he has T. Higgins, he has Tyler Boyd. He can hand it off to Joe Mixon. It's a really good offense with no offensive line. So I think this will be a good competition, but I think the Bengals are edging out just a little bit. All right. And so the next matchup is Indianapolis Colts versus the Seattle Seahawks. I'm going to hand this one off to Josh.
Okay, so I believe that the Seattle Seahawks will be winning here because they are usually early season champions. And I think that the Colts is going to take them a bit longer to develop. And I think that the let Russ cook stuff will be starting up again early this year. So I will give the Seahawks a win on the road. I will hand this off to Zach for his thoughts.
All right. So with the Seattle game, I think Seattle will win. Russell Wilson's always good week 1 to like week 7. And I think that Russ will be really good here. Jack?
I also have to give this one to Seattle, just based on the past, what's happened the last few years. Russell Wilson is always the week 1 through week 6 MVP. The fall off has not started quite yet. I think they're going to start out hot. They're going to beat the Colts here, 1-0.
All right. Well, with our next team, it's going to be the LA Chargers versus the Washington football team. I'm going to hand this one off. Actually, I'm going to take this one. I say that the LA Chargers, they have a good team, and I think that they're going to beat Washington just because their offense is good, their defense is elite, and I think that, I think the Chargers are going to win against Washington. Jack.
I'm also going to go with the Chargers here. I have high hopes for the Chargers this year, and I'm really excited to see what they do. And overall, I think it's just going to come down to Justin Herbert's going to end up outdoing Ryan Fitzpatrick by a tad. I think the defense will keep him in it, but I think at the end, Justin Herbert will clutch up and win them the game. What are your thoughts, Josh?
I feel like the Washington football team is going to win here because that defense, like you said, is in the game. And I feel like Fitzpatrick is going to come up with a play to just beat Justin Herbert just by a little bit. Because even through last year, we saw Justin Herbert had a hard time closing games, so I don't really see just clutch here. But I do see it being a close and good game in Washington. I got to give it to the football team, and they are starting off 1-0.
All right. With our next matchup, it's going to be the New York Giants versus the Denver Broncos. Jack, since your team is in New York, you take this one.
I'm going to go with the Giants here to win their home opener. The main reason is I'm not very high on the Broncos. Similar to Washington, I think the defense will keep them in it to an extent, but I think overall the Giants' defense is going to turn a lot of heads this year, and I think they're going to be a pleasant surprise for the Giants. So I think the Giants, in a kind of a defensive, gritty matchup, are going to win. What are your thoughts, Zach?
I say the Giants also. The Giants have a really good team, and especially that D-line. And if Daniel Jones even develops really well, this team could be a playoff team. Now, sure, they'll be 6-10, or actually 7-10. Yeah, but hey, it's an improvement from last year. You made playoffs, but I say the Giants. I'll go 1-0 right now. So yeah, Josh.
Okay, I say it's going to be the New York Giants taking their home opener because I believe that Galladay and Slayton and Tony are all going to be locked in and ready to go. And I believe that Daniel Jones will just have a great game. And this will be a great start to the season for the Giants.
Okay. With our next matchup, it's going to be the New York Jets versus the Carolina Panthers. Jack, take this one away.
Ooh, this one's tough, but I think I'm going to give the edge today to Carolina. I understand it's weird for me to pick against my own team week 1, but I think Sam Darnold's got a lot to prove to the Jets, and I think he's going to come out with a little bit of fire, motivation to prove them wrong. It's a bit of a mismatch with the solid Jets D-line against the below-average Panthers O-line, but I think Sam Darnold and Zach Wilson coming out with Robert Saleh, rookies, they're new to their jobs. I think the Jets will find their stride later in the season, but I think they're going to struggle a bit early. Give me Carolina here. What are your thoughts, Josh?
I gotta go with Carolina too. They're home. They got a established roster. They have a second-year coach in Matt Rule. I think it's gonna be a little bit better than the Jets. I do believe the game will be within 2 scores. Like, I'm guessing right now an early prediction. I'm going to say 28-14 Panthers, but that last score I believe is going to come at the end just as a insurance point by the Panthers. So, while I do believe that the Jets will put up a fight week, I don't think that they're starting out 1-0. So, give me the Carolina Panthers here. Zach?
I gotta go with the Jets here because I do like what the Jets are doing. And the D line is gonna be really good. I think it's gonna sack Sam Darnold a lot. The thing I'm scared about is Robbie Anderson and DJ Moore getting open, and they don't have a defense. And Zach Wilson, I think he'll do really well in his first game. So I think the New York Jets. All right, now for my team, the Arizona Cardinals, and versus the Tennessee Titans. I'll be taking this one as Arizona starts out 1-0. Arizona just has a better offense, and they'll just dot up Tennessee's non-existing corners, other than Adoree Jackson. But DeAndre Hopkins will destroy him. Josh?
I believe that the Arizona will take week 1 in Nissan Stadium and stick it to the Tennessee Titans to win their first game because I have offense spare. Now, their defense is going to struggle against Derrick Henry because what team doesn't? But I feel like their defense won't falter as much as other teams, and they'll be able to lock down Derrick Henry a bit. I'm going to say instead of his normal 100-yard game, I'm going to say he's going to have like 50 to 75 yards that game. He's still going to run over the defense, but it's not going to be as bad as other teams. So I believe that Derrick Henry's efforts will not go as well as it does you, and I think that Arizona will be taking the first game. Jack?
I'm also going with Arizona here. Not very high on the Titans, to be honest. Lost Gianno Smith, lost Corey Davis. Pending a Julio Jones trade, I just think Arizona's just going to be able to out-offense them, and I think their defense has seen some steady improvement. So I think overall, Arizona's just going to outplay them on both sides of the ball here. Arizona starts 1-0.
All right, with our next matchup, it should be obvious. Tampa Bay versus the Cowboys. Jack?
Oh my goodness. Tampa Bay, all the way. This is a Super Bowl team that retained every single piece, and all they have is a year more of chemistry, OTAs, preseason. All they have is more time together. Tampa Bay is going to dominate this year. I think they're going to start open by blowing the doors off the Cowboys. What are your thoughts, Josh?
In my opinion, I would tell all of you Frontline football fans out there, don't even watch this game if you're not a Cowboys fan. You will just see a massacre. Like, bigger than even the Boston Massacre could be. This is going to be just a slaughter of the Cowboys here. You have a team that's returning all 22 of their Super Bowl starters, and they're Super Bowl champions coming into the season. So this team is just leaps bounds above every other team right now. They have another year of country. They got OTAs. They got preseason this year. They have trained rookie minicamp. They have every single bells and whistles that they didn't have last year, but they could still win a championship. So they are going to destroy Zach Welch for this game.
All right. Shout out to Julian. He thinks that Dallas is going to win, but I say Tampa. Tampa has a great offense. They have a great defense. They're going to be a dominant force for the whole year, so Tampa. All right, this is a very hard matchup for me to decide. Philadelphia versus Atlanta. I'm going to hand this one off to Josh.
Okay, with the first week, I have Philly beating Atlanta because I feel Kyle Pitts and Matt Ryan need a little bit of time, especially with all these Julio rumors going around. I feel like it's going to take a little time to go away from Julio and to have Kyle Pitts in that system. While I do believe that Atlanta will get wins, I got to give Philly the win week 1. So I'm going to have Eagles going no. I'm going to hand it off to Zach for his take.
I'm gonna have to go Atlanta. Atlanta has a great offense, and Kyle Pitts, Calvin Ridley, Matt Ryan, and if Julio Jones somehow stays, then Julio Jones. And I think that they'll just overpower the Eagles. Now, this is going to be a very fun match to watch, especially because Devontae Smith will be balling out probably. So I'm still going to say Atlanta just because of the offensive firepower. Jack?
I'm going to go with the Eagles here as well. I think after Falcons, I think that's one of the locks. I think eventually Julio Jones is going to get out before week 1. But I think they're going to be looking for an identity. They're kind of just losing pieces left and right. And I think Philadelphia is a young and hungry team looking to prove some people wrong. So I think they're going to take a win here.
All right. Then the next matchup, this should be obvious. The Niners versus Detroit. I'll hand it off to Jack.
I got to go with the Niners here. Just on the basis of they're hungry. They were completely knocked out by injuries last year. And as much as I love what Detroit is doing, it's not going to immediately show results, especially against a line like the 49ers. I think everyone's going to be back. Everyone's going to be ready to go, and I can't see the Lions winning this game. Give me the Niners. What are your thoughts, Zach?
It's obvious. Niners, I don't even have to explain. They're healthy. They're going to be good. Nick Bosa's coming back. So, yeah. Niners. Josh?
Okay, I got the San Francisco 49ers. I don't care who's starting. It could be Garoppolo. It could be Lance, for all we know. And I would still give this game to the Niners because they're returning their Super Bowl lineup from 2 years ago. Of course, they were knocked out by injuries last year, but I believe that this year they are hungry and coming back for a vengeance. So give me the Niners winning week 1.
All right. Our next matchup is actually going to be a pretty good one. LA versus Chicago. I'm going to hand this one to Josh. Actually, no, I'm going to take this. LA.
Okay.
LA's going to win because LA has a great defense and they're going to have a great offense because of Matthew Stafford being there. So I think LA. Jack.
I also have to go with the Rams. Similar to the Jets Panthers, I think especially if Fields is starting here, I think it's going to take him a little bit of time to make the adjustment to the NFL, and I think that's going to lead a team, especially like the Rams, to be able to take advantage of that. So I think Stafford's going to start out hot. He's going to get a win in his first game as a Ram. What are your thoughts, Josh?
I think that the Chicago Bears will be losing. Unfortunately here, because I think that Andy Dalton's good starting out the season, and he's going to get blown out here. Simple as that. He's going to get blown out because Stafford is going to be too much for him, and the Rams defense is going to overpower him. But in the last seconds, Fields comes in. Fields comes riding into the field, and he scores a touchdown. The final score is Bears 7, Rams 48. And because of that one touchdown, they will start Fields for the rest of the season. And that's how I think that match will go. I think it will be a blowout of big proportions with Fields coming in to start and then showing the faithful what he has to offer.
Okay. Green Bay versus New Orleans. Now, I need to explain this. Aaron Rodgers is still on the team, so Aaron Rodgers is still going to be in Green Bay. All right. So we have to take that into account. So, Josh.
I am saying that Aaron Rodgers is traded by that point of the season, and I'm saying Jordan Love is starting, and I say that he gets a week 1 win against the New Orleans Saints. So it's going to be a close game because famous Jameis versus Jordan Love, but I believe that Jordan will start his career as a Packer 1-0. Zach, what are your thoughts?
Even if they did have Aaron Rodgers, I'm saying New Orleans is winning because New Orleans has a guy named Alvin Kamara. And what do the Packers are not good at? Oh, yeah, stopping the run. So Alvin Kamara's going to have a great game. So, yeah. Jack.
Okay. Tori, tale of two teams. If Aaron Rodgers is on this, I think that the inexperience of Jameis Winston and Taysom Hill being the true starters on the Saints, similar to how it affects the rookies and the new quarterbacks coming in. I think they're going to struggle, and overall, I think the Packers get the win with Aaron Rodgers. But without Aaron Rodgers, I think the Saints will get the win in a gritty defensive kind of game where the Saints' experienced defense kind of just toys with Jordan Love for an hour or two. So overall, with Rodgers, is going to be my guess. I think he is going to stay in Green Bay for a little while longer. Next year, I think he's going to make his move. But because, in my predictions, Rodgers is still there, I think they'll get the win and take advantage of neither Jameis or Hill truly starting as the Saints quarterback before.
All right. Well, that does it for our video today. So if you liked it, what should they do, Josh?
If you like what you saw, don't forget to... Let me just balance these cans. Hit that like button, punch the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell to join the Frontline Football fan base. What's the Frontline Football fan base? The Frontline Football fan base is up to date on all their news rumors up to the NFL season and off season because they watch Frontline every single week. So, don't go anywhere because we still have, I believe, 17 more weeks of this because the NFL has added a new week. So let's go. Another week of predictions for y'all. And, you get to enjoy some in-depth analysis on the way to early predictions. So, I am just thanking you that you watched all the way to the end of this video. And I have been Josh from Frontline Football. And Jack, hit the plugs.
As always, don't forget to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at FrontlineFB. It's actually on the screen for once, right there. It's at the top because we're using a different layout for once. But don't forget to follow us there. Links will be in the description as always. We hope you enjoyed this regular season thing. Predictions is going to be what we're doing for the offseason for the most part. And it'll be interesting to see how the Frontline Football predictions pan out compared to the rest of the league and how it actually compares to the actual games, our predictions. It'll just be fun. So we'll see you guys back here for more of it next week.